Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator, today with more Pillarless tabletop games with Wasabi from Z-Man Games. You are trying to place ingredients to complete recipes, which will get you points for completing your challenges. And if you assemble the ingredients in order, you will get a bonus as well. The game ends one of two ways. All the space is filled with ingredients, or someone completes all 10 other challenges, which is an instant win for them. So setup for the game, we'll have the ingredients, we'll have the recipes, we'll have the board. Action cards are limited based on the number of players. But once the setup for the general setup is complete, it'll go to each player will create starting hands for the player to their left. You can't use any rice or maki or any of the rare ingredients. It has to be 3 completely different categories of ingredients that you'll take and you'll give to the player on your left. So this could be a starting hand for somebody and pass to the left. And then after that, everybody gets 3 recipes of their choice. A thing to keep in mind is, as you can only complete a given challenge token once, you're ultimately limited to what you can complete, but having options can help. 4 2s, 3 3s, 2 4s, and a 5. So let's say we start out the game with a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Starting out with a 5 might make sense, or it might be a challenge of its own. But you know what? Well, this is just for demonstrating the game anyway. So you'll see the recipes show things. Any To complete the recipe, you'll need to get the tokens on the board by first getting them into your personal collection and then playing them on your turn. So like for the recipe Royal Prawn, for example, if ingredients were set up like this, it's not only completed, it's completed with style. Completing a recipe lets you assign the challenge token to it, which will be worth points. Completing it with style lets you add wasabi cubes to your little collection, and those are worth points at the end of the game, as well as the challenge token itself. So actually playing the game, instead of just jumping ahead to that. On your turn, oh yeah, the recipes will go in this neat little holder. There we go. So on your turn, you absolutely have to play an ingredient. None of these correspond with what I'm trying to make. But, oh well. So we'll just throw out salmon. Before or after placing, we can do an action card. Tokens can only go in the empty spaces. If I complete a recipe, then I'll score it. And then at the end of my turn, I get action cards if I complete any recipes. You get 1 action card per recipe you complete on your turn. You are limited to 2 cards. You cannot select an action card if you played it that turn. unless there's no other choice. We'll go over this. The action cards include a switch, play into the kitchen, switch the contents of any two adjacent squares. So, say those are there, and swap those two. Stack, play into the kitchen. You may play an ingredient on top of another one for this turn. So, you need to put tofu on top of salmon. And now it'll, checking the recipe, will check for the tofu instead. Chop. Take the top tile off any square immediately. And free the salmon or the daikon. Or play, immediately return to the pantry or play it as your ingredient for this turn. If you haven't played it in ingredient, then play it. Spicy, play into the kitchen. And you may play two ingredients this turn instead of one. So we got these two. We'll do that. Add them. And then finally, oops, someone spilled the wasabi. Play into the board. Take one wasabi cube from the supply for playing the ultimate dick move card. Cover up 4 squares. They can be occupied or unoccupied, any combination. We're going to lock those up. So while that's there, nobody can make recipes using anything trapped underneath it. If you go to take an action card on your turn, after completing recipes, you have the option to pull the wasabi card off as yours. Yeah. If you already have 2 cards and you need to, and you're going to draw up, you have the option to straight up discard ones you weren't going to use anyway to draw different ones. But only if you're going to collect action cards in the first place. But after you collect action cards, if you have fewer than 3 ingredient tiles, you'll take from the pantry. And finally, if you have fewer than 3 recipes, like let's say this got completed, you can take a new one. Yeah. If you're drawing more than one, you can look at each one before drawing the next. And then play passes to the left. The game will continue on until all the spaces are filled, depending on the number of players. At 4 players, the whole board. At 3, it's up to this point. At 2, it's square. Almost. It'll go to the player with the most challenge points and wasabi cubes gathered. Alternatively, someone can complete all 10 of their challenges and instantly win the game. If there's a tie for points, most wasabi cubes is the winner. So collecting these little guys are helpful. And if there's still a tie, the game isn't a draw. I'm not sure how to break that tie. But it might be rare enough to not have to worry about it too much. Why do I like this game? It's quick. It's fairly simple. It's kind of crazy. I don't have to worry about explaining too much text-wise. It's just fairly straightforward. And it's just fun. Fun little game about making sushi and having to share space with your opponents and deal with all the potential craziness that's going to have to offer. Strategy-wise, I'm not even sure what to think of it strategy-wise. In terms of optimal, what you ought to do, kind of things. It does seem like going for like the little challenges early to get the action cards might help you. But the big points are in going after the big damn recipe. Oop. These are very, very tricky to set up if you're going to complete them with style. If you're not completing them with style, then it's not a problem. But completing a level 5 recipe with style is an impressive feat. And also, each of the level 5 recipes uses a rare ingredient. There's really no point to take a rare ingredient unless you're actually building that recipe. There's something else you can do on your turn. Instead of playing ingredients and an action card, you can discard any number of recipes from your hand. They'll go to the bottom of the deck, and then you'll go to your prepare for the next turn and draw back up. You miss out on playing stuff, but sometimes things just don't work out. But anyway, this is Wasabi. I love it. It's a wonderful, wonderful game, and I'm so glad that I got in again. It wasn't too bad price wise. Okay, so this was the game I was hinting at when I was talking about a potential fourth episode of Fake It Until I Remake It. And I just happened to look online and it's like, hey, there's this copy available. Let me make sure it's absolutely complete. It is absolutely complete. Nice dishes, the recipes and the ingredients and everything, they're all here. Always love when a game is complete. And I can see that it's complete. So I got this. Apparently they're going to be remaking this game. Hopefully it'll be out by next year. But I'm happy to have the original. It's fine by me. This particular version also comes with a set of rules in German. And there's the German translations for everything. If it needs it. Some stuff is like the same in both. Yeah. Yeah, Wasabi. Find a copy, play it, love it. It is an awesome game for new players, experienced players. They'll enjoy it. Alright, thanks very much for watching. This has been Pillar Nexus, and I'll see you next time.